Welcome back. Welcome, David.
Oh, I absolutely love that one. That's Marks
Yeah,
and Spencer's.
Marks
Yes.
and Spencer's, the lemonade. Oh, we could do like a bit of an ASMR because I haven't opened it yet. You ready? Ah. Yeah, there we go. Bit of ASMR for the people that like it. Having a M&S lemonade.
I don't like it. I,
I really don't like it.
I don't like I don't like it. And I don't know if you've enticed them as a sponsor on that basis. I don't know if you
Oh
really.
no, again, we'll reach out M&S if you would like to sponsor, not just for your lemonade, but for all of the fantastic products that you do. This isn't just any lemonade. This is M&S lemonade.
Where's my Fleetwood Mac? Hold on, where's my Fleetwood Mac? Awesome, mate. No, I tell you what gets me about what you've just showcased there so beautifully, that lemonade from Marks and Spencer, is that you could have had a bottle 4 or 5 times that size for Marks and Spencer for about another 5p. We've seen that the sort of 2 litre bottles or something they do.
This is
They're
true.
almost the same price.
It was bought in a meal deal that I
Of
forgot to drink
course.
yesterday, so I've drunk it today and brought it
Yes.
for the pod.
Waste not, want
So
not. But cheers anyhow, James.
cheers indeed, sir.
I'll return to tradition.
I've noticed recently
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of change last year, and I
Yes.
probably know 30 to 40 people that were
Yeah.
moving on.
Okay.
Sent me that email saying, I'm going to be leaving the organization at X date. Thank you for everything that we've done so far. Or if we're not quite at client stage and we've been having lots of talks about how to help the organization,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for all the help and suggestions that you've made so far. Wish you all the best for the
Yeah.
future. I've then responded, thank you so much. Sorry to see you leaving. You're really polite. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. And said, would you mind introducing me to the person that will be now assuming responsibilities
Reasonable
going forward?
request.
Which is a reasonable request, I feel. I would say out of all of the emails that I sent saying that,
Mm-hmm.
2 replied and made
Seriously,
that
two
introduction
people.
and made that introduction for me. Yeah. And this is going, I'd
Really?
say 20 of those were clients. So then I've obviously got to make the process of ringing up. Obviously, nobody likes to talk anymore. So you're the gatekeeper. Well, what's it regarding? We work with you. We provide training for you, but I understand X is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, do they know that you're going to call? No. Hence why I'm talking to you. But we
Yeah.
provided this training for you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll have to see if they're interested. Well, there will be because we provide training for you and it's coming to an end of that training. So we need to discuss the plans for 2026. You're going to have
So
to
the
send an email. Yeah.
handover's the issue, that the common courtesy or even the professionalism that should come with a handover. So if you're, redundancy is a horrible thing and you're possibly alluding to people that have been made redundant there and that post no longer exists or it's been absorbed into the business or whatever it might be. But yeah, if you have a long-standing relationship, particularly if it's a commercial relationship that's actually working, it seems odd that they wouldn't tee up a handover or a quick introduction to say, work with James, he's looked after X, Y, and Z. Perhaps you should arrange a meeting or at least have a chat. It would help a
I mean,
lot,
I'd
wouldn't
do
it?
that.
Yeah, I would.
I do that.
I
And
would.
I've always been a believer in never burning your bridges,
Well,
and
it's a
always
small world, isn't
treating
it, as
people
well?
with respect and decency. If you are flying high towards the top,
Hmm.
there's only one way to come down from there. And if you've
Hmm.
burnt all of your bridges on the way up,
Yeah.
then you treat people with the respect that you expect to receive.
It,
But
it's
just
a small world, James, because
it is.
they could well work with you again in the future. And it's just a bit awkward then, isn't it? So,
Yeah, yeah. I
it's
know what you
lost the
mean.
warm and fuzzy feeling, hasn't it, at that point?
Mm,
If they
mm.
haven't handed
And I
over
understand
professionally.
it's not something that if like you say, they might not want to be leaving the organization.
Hmm.
They might not want to pass on those details because they want the organization to succeed. But
Yeah.
either way, again, it's just down to what we've spoken about before. Common courtesy.
Common courtesy, human decency. So, talking about warm and fuzzy feelings, and maybe that's word of the day, warm and fuzzy.
I like that. I do like
Ting!
that. Ting.
Warm and fuzzy. How warm and fuzzy do you feel when you get a sequenced email? So something that's coming through as a workflow. And look, let's look at your name. Let's just get this out for the listeners. James Workflow Sharples. It's where you're going, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. So we started to discuss this on the previous pod that was our solo episode, which turned into more of a rant and a therapy session.
Felt like it at one point. James on the chaise lounge just ranting away, flannel over his eyes.
But thought it's definitely a relevant topic and a topic within its own right that warrants its own conversation. That's probably a little bit longer than a reference within. Yeah, I think you've got to be really careful with your workflows, but I think you have to treat it with the same respect that you would treat a prospective client.
Okay.
When you're approaching them from, say, cold outreach or whichever, because there is often too much. We were talking about emails on our previous episode and clearing your emails, and we discovered that I'd received 800 emails from Secret Escapes, where I am obviously in some form of workflow and some form of automation.
Yeah.
Where they click a button.
You're subscribed. You're subscribed to their email. Yeah.
Yes. For me, once a week is more than enough.
Acceptable?
I think it's acceptable. I would go between once a week and once every 2 weeks. But I know companies that every day, something. And what we're careful of doing is, because obviously we'll use our automated campaigns and such. If somebody hasn't responded or opened for a while, we'll move them to a separate list and send another email out saying, would you like us to keep you informed about future services? If they say yes, and they reply yes to that, or tick the green tick, we make it very simple. Opt in, opt out. We move them back to the list that was sending those emails out regularly. But I think the amount of companies that I see that are doing this daily, and we recently did some research around some of the new brands that we're launching, and did some research on workflows. And there was some that were saying it's perfectly reasonable to send 3 a day.
3 a day?
Yeah. And when I was speaking to the team about it, and they said, oh, no, we think it should be daily. I went, no, it should not be daily.
No.
Because you become a pest.
I was going to say, that's the exact word I was going to use. You do become a pest. And, you know, I think email marketing is clearly not as potent as it used to be. People are kind of over email marketing. However, much like every form, you want to still be there. You still want to, push your communication. And there are positives that come with email marketing. However, the click-through rate is lower probably than it's ever been. Obviously, people aren't as interested in emails just generally.
Well, it's because there's too many people that are emailing them. It's because there's too many people emailing them 3 times a day. That's the problem.
And that's the problem. I think you have to be motivated to open an email. And if you see that it's from a sender who is spamming you 3 times a day, you're not going to open anything. It could be the lottery ticket numbers. You probably would never know, because you're probably not going to open it, are you, if they're bouncing 3 a day to you?
No, completely that. And it's like, I wouldn't knock on somebody's house 3 times a day. Knock, knock, knock. Would you be interested in this? No. Okay, I'll be back in 20. Back in 20 minutes. Were you interested yet? No, I've just told you. All right, okay, not a problem. 3 hours later, knock, knock, knock. What about now?
I also love the ones that land in your inbox at about 3 a.m. and wake you up.
Well, we're obviously, being a global organisation, it's something that we're very conscious of. And that, again, this comes down to laziness. We will, when we're initially putting somebody on an email subscription or campaign, from whether they've registered interest within a session, they've attended a masterclass, etc., we will do our research. We'll look where they are based. We'll look at their LinkedIn profile. Okay, they're in Orlando. Right, probably best not to send them an email at 9 a.m. then, because they're getting that at 1 a.m., midnight, depending on where they are in the world. So we've got separate lists for
So that's
geography.
quite considerate, because you often don't find that. And I find, and again, I don't want this to be a ranting episode, because I think we set the tone a couple ago with ranting, but you often find that as well, don't you, with your banking app and sort of transactions that go through at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, ting, 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 ting. And it's like, mate, I'm trying to sleep and I'm being reminded I've just paid my gas bill. You know, it's not a great, it's not a great interruption.
You have to remain consistent in your communication. You know, when you look at sales and conversion rates nowadays, and people's attention spans, which I'll come into in a moment, it does take 5 to 7 attempts to
touch points. You need that.
Follow up touch points. You need those various touch points to give you the best opportunity to convert the sale.
Yeah.
Don't do that all within 24 hours. You know, we're often...
You can't accelerate the process, can you?
No, just
compound it into one day.
Sending all of those touch points in one day is not going to help you in any way.
That's not a hack code.
No. And it infuriates. And don't let the automation do everything for you. Yes, automations again are useful, and this is where we're talking about technology becoming useful if you use it as an assistant rather than replacing. If you let automations completely do everything for you, you are not going to see the best results, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
Lumina proudly sponsors the Quick Brew podcast. Lumina is your AI conversation coach, helping leaders manage difficult conversations successfully. Practice in a safe environment without fear of judgment. If you want to hear more information about Lumina and practicing conversations that count, go to wellityglobal.com/meet-Lumina and use offer code BREW10.
So I use sequencing on emails in my day job as a recruiter. I use them specifically for candidate engagement. So people that are within our database, so within our applicant tracking system, and I might have tried to catch them on the phone, can't get hold of them. Often these guys are employed, they're in work. It's understandable. They're not picking up the mobile phone while I sat opposite the boss.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Mr. Recruiter. So I'll send an email, try to reach you. I'm interested to talk to you about this role. Can we schedule a time where we can follow up? Now, I'm aware through experience that those emails, even if they're of interest, can go missed. So I will sequence a follow-up to that 1 or 2 days later, just to say, tried you a couple of days ago. I think following recent conversations, this would be something of interest. Do please let me know if you'd like to line up a call, a discreet call. I'll generally stop it there, though, because there's some platforms that would suggest just keep spam until they respond. But I think at the time when I've had 2 opportunities within a shortish period of time, if they're not responding, they're either maybe on holiday or they're not interested. And actually, I don't want to become a nuisance. And as you say, I don't want to become a pest.
Interesting you should say this, because we looked at because if somebody's out of office, you obviously get a bounce back within the automations or whichever email address that you send it to. Is what you should do.
Yeah.
And there were some that I went through with my team members and said, look, we need to be keeping on top of this. So we've got some that are on maternity leave, for example, or on extended leave. Yeah. You're not sure where that is. So I've said, look, we need to remove them from the mailing list, put that email that you've received back or the automatic reply into a folder saying add back later or on maternity leave. And then we'll look to reintroduce them to the campaign when we know if they're back or not. And I got a question at the time, I was like, well, why? And I was like, well, because if they're off for 6 months and they come back and see 823 emails from Wellity Global, what are they going to do?
Yeah. Unsubscribe, delete.
Yeah, never talk to again.
Goodbye. Yeah. Yes, it's not considerate. It's not aware, is it? And I think that you would have an awareness. If this was a manual thing, again, the good old days, you pick up a phone and someone's, tells you they're on maternity leave. Do you know when that's planned until? You'd make a note in your CRM, then you're not going to hound them.
Yeah. And
why would you?
Select a further dates to reconnect and touch base.
Of course you do.
Maybe keep an eye on the LinkedIn profile to see if they post anything. But they're not going to turn the phone back on to 323 voicemails of, it's just James trying again. Wellity, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's the same with emails. You know, if they heard 323 voicemails of me trying to get hold of them,
Mm,
it screams desperation.
yeah.
B, it's very annoying.
There's there's a fine line, isn't there, between enthusiasm and desperation.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
you should be enthusiastic to engage with someone, but if for whatever reason it's not happening, then you very quickly cross over into lines of desperation.
desperation. Yeah, it's like reducing your price too quickly.
Yeah,
You know, if somebody
yeah,
comes back and said, "Oh, well, we haven't got the budget for that." Okay, I'll do it. Drop it by this. It's you're desperate for the business. You know, like we've
yeah.
spoken about before, and maybe this is a whole different episode. It's basically
Like
the
it.
line between enthusiasm and desperation, and
Mm,
I think maybe we should leave it on that teaser to come to
I
another
like it.
episode, and that's what we shall talk about: is the fine line between enthusiasm and desperation.
I like it. I think that's an awesome teaser, actually. So yeah, emailing, just to round up, send your automations, send your workflows, but be conscious of how often they're
And
going out.
maintain it. But make
Mm,
sure that you're maintaining those lists and actually paying attention to the information you receive back. If somebody is on maternity leave, ensure that you put a note in your CRM to contact them at a later date or to look
mm,
out for when they may return via LinkedIn. You know, there's plenty of social platforms that we use in business as well to be able to see that
hmm.
information.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Making
yeah.
sure that you're cleansing those lists.
Mm,
If somebody hasn't opened an email for a long time, maybe drop them an email. Maybe again, check on LinkedIn. Are they even in the same job? Are you
mm,
basically sending a dead email to somebody
yeah.
that's no longer within the organization, which again is going to affect your score with Microsoft? Because this is another one for an email episode as well. If somebody leaves an organization, so let's say Dave left Tech23, that domain is essentially owned by Microsoft. What Microsoft do is keep it open to see how many people are still emailing that Dave at
Hmm.
Tech23. So
Hmm.
therefore, we'll blacklist you.
Okay, that's
Another
interesting.
episode.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good shout. So yeah, how much is too much in what you're saying? So for a business that wants to get your interest, but not cross over into line of desperation for you, what is that, James? How
I think
often do you think?
once a week
Yeah,
as a maximum, you know, or once every couple of weeks. It also shows that you're doing other things. You know, if you're chasing a
yeah,
client every single day, well, what
yeah.
else are you doing?
I think for me, it's not just time. And I know I've asked you how often or how much is too much. For me, it's variety. If you're constantly spamming the same message, hey, James, it'd be great to catch up. You know, and let's talk about X, Y, and Z. If you keep sending that message on repeat, it loses all of its impact. But if next week I send something, you know, we've recently done a market analysis, interested in your thoughts or thought you might be interested in seeing this, then that's something. If you maybe next time introduce a new product or a new service or new solution, that's something. If the third one there is just a generic catch up, then that's great because you've
Yeah,
offered a few bits of other material content value before. So perhaps variety is actually the key aligned with that,
but
you
also
know,
the variety
regularity.
in the modes of contact as well. So try calling them, try reaching out on LinkedIn, try emails, see if they would be interested in joining a webinar. You know, try the various touch points as well, not just relying on email automations.
One of my biggest clients that I picked up probably 15 years or so ago, my breakthrough moment there was actually turning up to their office with a soya latte or whatever, and yeah, just left it at front reception. Nothing more,
Genius.
nothing. Just literally, you know, from Dave at wherever I was working at the time, and yeah, that was the breakthrough. Didn't even speak to her when I got there. It was just literally left it on reception for her. I'd overheard her colleague basically taking an order when she was on the phone to me. So I made a note, soya latte, whatever it was, I don't know. Took it in, left it on reception, and yeah, she phoned me. Not going to work
Nice.
every time, but it works.
And what a way to finish the podcast.
There you go. Look, it's been great as always. Thank you for listening, guys.